What's something that most people struggle with? Their own emotions. And not just the positive ones. We're going to be talking about the negative ones too. You know, those feelings we try to fight, suppress, or ignore. But what if I told you that the secret to emotional peace isn't in battling your own feelings? It's in embracing all of them. Let's dive into why accepting your emotions, both positive and negative, can change your life. Let's first start off with a question. How often do you hear phrases like, stay positive, don't be sad, push through the pain? These phrases are well-meaning. They encourage resilience, but there's a problem with them. They imply that the negative emotions are something to fight against, or something to overcome. Here's the truth. Emotions are not your enemies. They are a part of the human experience. Every single feeling that you have, whether joy or sadness, anger or peace, serves a purpose. Think about this for a second. When you try to push away sadness, it doesn't disappear. When you suppress anger, it doesn't resolve. When you ignore anxiety, it doesn't fade into the background. In fact, fighting these feelings only makes them louder. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The more you push it down, the harder it fights to pop back up. Now here's where things get interesting. What if you didn't try to push those feelings down? What if you simply let them be? The idea comes from mindfulness, the practice of recognizing your emotions as they arise without any type of judgment. Instead of thinking, I shouldn't feel this way, try thinking instead, I feel this way right now, and that's okay. You see, when we stop labeling emotions as good or bad, we take away their power to control us. Think about it. When you feel joy, you don't fight it. You don't try to suppress it. You welcome it. You embrace it. So why don't we do the same with sadness or anger? Now we're going to get into how to actually embrace all these feelings. But first, let me be clear. I'm not saying you should dwell on negative emotions or let them dictate your actions. What I'm saying is this: recognize the feeling and allow it to exist. When you feel sad, say to yourself, I feel sad right now. When you feel angry, say to yourself again, I feel anger right now. Notice that I said right now. Emotions are temporary. They come and go like waves in the water. But if you try to fight them, you get stuck in a battle. Now here's a powerful shift in mindset. When you recognize emotions as simply existing in the moment, there's no battle to win or lose. Think about that for a second. If there's no fight, there's no struggle. If there's no struggle, then there's no suffering. You're no longer trying to be happy or calm all the time. You're simply just being. Let's take anger as an example. Most of us see anger as a negative emotion, or something to avoid or try to take control of. But what if, instead of trying to suppress it, you just observed it? You might say to yourself, I fear anger right now. I feel it in my chest. My hands are clenched. My breath has become shallow. What happens when you do this? You stop fighting it. You've taken a step back and allowed the emotion to simply exist. And you know what's bound to happen next? That anger will pass by much quicker because you've now given it space to just exist without trying to control it, ignore it, or just avoid it. The same applies to sadness, fear, anxiety, etc. When you acknowledge them, they lose their grip on you. When you allow yourself to feel them fully, without judgment, you free yourself from an emotional suffering. So how do we practice accepting all of these emotions in everyday life? First, you want to pause and acknowledge the emotion. Whatever it is that you're feeling, just simply name it. Second, accept it without any type of judgment. Don't label it as good or bad. Just let it be. Third, breathe and let it move through you. You got to remember, emotions are nothing but energy. Let them flow naturally how they're supposed to. Now, I know this sounds pretty simple, but it's not always easy. We've been conditioned to believe that negative emotions are wrong, that we have to fight them in order to be happy. But the truth is, happiness comes when we accept all parts of ourselves, the light and the dark. When you stop fighting your emotions, you'll find peace, because you'll realize there was never a battle to begin with. Remember, you are not your emotions. You are the space that allows them to exist. Embrace the joy, embrace the sadness, embrace all of it. Because when you do, you discover a deeper sense of peace and freedom than you ever thought was possible. All right, that's all I got for y'all today, man. I hope y'all taking care of yourself. I hope y'all constantly improving. And I want y'all to comment down below, what emotions have y'all been fighting? And how will you practice embracing them from now on? And I want y'all to always remember that peace starts within, man. I love y'all. See y'all next time.